Okay, I think we should start. Let me introduce myself first. As you've seen, my name is Arpan Ghosh. I will be your mentor for this for this session. I have overall 18 plus, almost 19 years of experience in the field of analytics. Currently, I'm the director of the company, a current fintech company. I was a principal data scientist. I lead the entire practice of AI implementation in the organization. Previously, I had the opportunity to build AI solutions for multiple organizations like Sony Pictures, KPMG, Telenor, Glaxo. I worked with Accenture in follow up one of the retail client, pharma. I have worked with Jubilant Biases. So got the opportunity to work with different domains, especially pharma, retail, telecom, media, and fintech, especially mutual fund and payments. I love to teach because as you grow up the ladder, you generally I felt like if you have the passion of teaching plus you love to code every day. I love coding and make sure at least I code one line of code every day. You keep updated yourself with the ever changing technology which is happening. So I have been associated with this teaching apart from my regular job with multiple institute, not only Visualpath from the past 3 years, more than 3 years now with Visualpath. I've been associated with almost 1.5, almost 2 years, almost. I generally take the multiple batches of the Gen AI, Agentic AI, AI Ops, ML Ops, and stuff like that. I don't remember what is your batch number. So I've been taking multiple batches before. So I will be your mentor, as I said, for your Agentic AI course, which you guys are here for learning and understanding what this Agentic AI course is all about and how it will work. Okay. Um, Let us first understand, okay, why we need this agentic AI, and then I will come back in the second half. I will come back on the curriculum part. Okay. In the term, if you're able to see my board, right? Agentic AI. And what is the difference between agentic AI and Gen AI? Okay. And why we need this agentic AI and what's the buzzword it is all about. Okay. So I'm sure Gen AI you guys have seen you're using in daily life, Chat GPT, right? So GPT models, you have Llama models, you have seen this, DeepSeek, right? You have Meta models, and Meta Llama is producing. You have Minstrels, okay? These are the different models. It is there. Whatever you say, you'll get these models. So these models were technically, if I just remove the embedding part, technically was built for sequence to sequence activity. That means text generation. It was technically built for text generation. Okay. It was built for text generation, the primary role. Okay. Then later on, there was a chat models came up. Then they said not only sequence to sequence activity, it will do chatbots, especially for chatbots like human along with internet of data. It should be trained with human interactive data. That means if I say hi, how are you? It should know what to respond back. Hi, I'm and the stuff and stuff like that. Okay. So this human interactive data and all, it will be, it will be able to this. So that's why it was it was told it is called generative something. It is that means it is generating something, right? Who is generating? Large language models, LLMs. What is this large language model? They are transformer based models trained on, they are trained on large amount of data. Where they are getting the data? Internet of data plus human conversational data. Human conversational data. This is what they are trained on. Now, once we have seen this, I know you guys have could correlate this, right? You because Chat GPT, you are using it. With time, people say that this generative AI and you'll create Gen AI applications. And with time, people came to understood that if I am creating a fully automated system, automated and the word autonomous, okay, two things, autonomous and automated system, only Gen AI application, that is LLM workflow, if I create, it is not good enough. It has some drawbacks. That means LLM can do what? LLM, it has few properties like reasoning, thinking, okay, decision making, and generative response. These are the power it has. But what it does not have, the disadvantage, if you see, okay, the disadvantage what is had is, now if I ask to give me the what is the current stock price, what is the current weather, today's weather in Mumbai, it is not able to do that. So what the problem it is happening, the problem it is happening is that it is does not have the capacity to interact with the current informations what is had. That means where it has to interact with some website or some other things, it is not does not have the capacity, right? For example, if I'm creating an application where, after, suppose I'm hiring an AI engineer, okay, and I want to automate that stuff. So it has an, I want an application where I will just provide the JD. Then what will happen? The JD, once it is provided, it will post the JD in the job portals. This should be done by the system itself. Now, do you think? And then obviously it will post the JD. People will apply. It will validate the CVs. It will shortlist the CVs basis the criteria I have given. It will again go and email email to the interviewer. So this is the workflow. This is a multiple complex workflow, multi-branch workflow is there. Now, if you see the first stage itself, do you think the LLM workflow will do post the JD in the job portal? It does not have the capacity, right? It's a workflow. So any LLM workflow, which is generative AI workflow, so it does not have the capacity to interact with other portal live or interact with other portal through an API called the information live, even emailing it. Now, if I want to, until unless I integrate with some other things, LLM itself cannot directly interact with my, push mechanism, push server and stuff, and SSTP and all, and do and send an email directly. It cannot do, right? So people came about, okay, LLM is very good, but whenever I want to give an autonomous and end-to-end application, LLM does not have that capacity to do that. And that's why came, researchers came up the thing, they are called agents. What is agent? Agents are term, they are tools plus the LLM. So from generative AI, you have the LLM, which is also called the brain of agentic AI application. They said we have already have the LLM, which is a Gen AI application. If I augment or I integrate from external tools, just like equipments, what we have, right? When you're writing exam, for example, you have been, so you'll be provided with pen, you have been provided with writing board. Those are like assistance we are giving so that you should be able to deliver or give the exam properly. Similarly, they said, let us create agents rather than only LLM. So let us create some agents. So agents are nothing but an integration between tool, which has been integrating to my LLM, current LLM workflow. And that becomes an agent. And this tool, there are two types, built-in tools and you have custom tools. Okay. What are the tools are? Now, what is this tools? Tools are nothing but basic Python functions. Inside the function, I can write the code, whichever it is. Suppose I want to fetch the current weather, minute by minute weather from the weather API. Now inside a function, I will create a custom tool where I will create a function and I write the code to interact with the API. I can do that. So basically, an agentic AI is nothing but we create applications where my LLM model will get augmented with additional powers in the form of tools. So that when I build these applications, it not only it is a full-fledged autonomous decision making, it can decide. So my application can have single agent. Suppose it's an agentic AI application, it can have single agent or it can have multiple agents. One single. So agents are nothing but tools plus LLM. So basically I'm telling it can have a single tool or multiple tools. Which tool to use at what time? That is decision is done by the LLM because that is the brain. So that is how agentic AI terminology came into the picture, where researchers thought like that is the way forward. We will be creating an end-to-end solution which not only has the capacity of the LLM of having an encyclopedia like is internet of knowledge. Along with that, basis my application requirement, I can keep on adding tools so that it does not have the LLM, that is, it is trained on data which is specific, no, which is the cutoff date is there. And within that cutoff date, you know, no, within that cutoff date, you are trying to, it is trained on that type, right? So that data, which you are trying to, that drawback we are trying to mitigate. Okay, so we are mitigating that drawback where we are augmenting them with some tools. That tools are getting attached to LLM to create agent. An entire application which will built in is called the agentic AI applications. Okay, so that is a very high level, just to give you a fair idea what is agentic AI application is all about. Um, and during our course, we will learn multiple things on this, how to create these applications, what framework we should use, stuff like that. So let me quickly give you the quick overview before I take questions on the session. It will be a 45 hours sessions. I think it will be on the same time, 7 to 8 p.m. IST, Monday to Friday. That is what it is now been thought of, but they will confirm on you. And since people are from diverse background, so we will start with Python basics. We will do Gen AI basics, Agentic AI. We will cover in detail because that is our main focus area. And when I say detail, here we will focus on two components called LangChain and LangGraph. We should focus on LangGraph because this is the framework which is being utilized or used mostly. Okay. We will also see Langsmith, that is for little bit of LLM ops will also be covered because once we deploy this agent, how to maintain this agentic AI application, that will be covered. We will also cover an interesting thing which has been not been covered in previous batches, but we are starting from this batch called MCP, that is Model Context Protocol. basics of this will be covered so that we understand, because this is the next new thing, evolution is happening. What is MCP? MCP is nothing but a protocol, because it will be a client communicating back and forth with a server, and server can have multiple tools to T1, T2, T3, like this. So client server communication, we will understand what is this model context protocol it is, how we can create our own MCP server, MCP client, and stuff like that. So that will be covered. Along with that, we will do projects. Okay, this is a very high level stuff we will do. In Gen AI, we will understand LangChain, how to create Gen AI application using LangChain, types of LLM models. Okay, then we will see applications building using LLM models and stuff like that. So this is a very high level major modules which will be which will be part of your curriculum, where the projects, obviously apart from that, you will have GitHub assistance, your CV assistance. Okay, so that you get what type of CV you should build in for the job in the market. Okay, and obviously in the project we will have multiple projects. We have Yahoo Finance project, Weather API project, your this one AI engineer hiring project. These are the different projects will be there. You will have ATS project. You will have the other one is multi PDF projects. So multiple projects are there which you guys can also showcase in your resume or GitHub as per your choice. But these are the projects which will be covered. Okay. Um, but important part is this one, land graph and lang chain. You will focus more on this framework, which will be help us to understand how to create agentic AI application, autonomous agentic AI application. Yeah, please. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for your time. Hopefully, it was a very interactive, and thanks for your questions. Hopefully, we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.